Gareth and Sale for Gulf Business, and it's a pleasure to be here with Saud Swar, who is the country manager for Mastercard at, and you're going to have to help me here, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain,
Jordan, and other Levant.
So that is a big footprint.
It's a very interesting region in the world.
Very interesting. So can you tell me about the cyber security resilience center that you've set up? I believe it was set up in April this year. What is that tasked with doing?
So if you want to look at cyber altogether, we're looking at a $14 trillion problem by 2028 globally, right? There is lots going on in that space. Saudi Arabia is in a very unique position to host such a center of excellence for Mastercard here in the region. And it is so because all the industry players realize how important this problem is and eventually want to solve for it. We've done a couple of things since April. First thing we've done is we've partnered with banks and we've made announcements over the past few months on a couple of things. First, we've done we've worked with banks to test their cyber resilience. Second, we've worked with the banks and with the regulator to see how can we bring our global best practices and the knowledge that we have acquired in the sense of acquiring organizations. Most recently, you may know a few acquisitions that we've done in that space, and also bring that knowledge as well as the know-how into the kingdom.
And what have you found ever since setting up the center? Because cybersecurity is such a big global challenge, isn't it?
Yes.
And there's very particular challenges in this part of the world, right?
Yep. So I think at this very early stage, what I can say is that we found genuine interest in investing as well as exploiting or exploring this topic altogether from across the industry players. We spoke to banks, we spoke to regulators, we spoke to other government entities, and all of them are very interested to know more and learn these best practices that we have in place.
And you've got some key partnerships here as well.
Yep.
One of those is with SAMA.
Yep.
Can you tell us a bit more about that?
So our partnership with SAMA goes a long way, and it is beyond the cybersecurity center of excellence. There is definitely a lot going on in that space, but we've also partnered with them earlier last year when about 2 years ago, these discussions have been going on for a while, to bring our MPGS, the payment gateway capabilities onshore. And that was a project that we have globally put focus on to, one, obviously comply with the regulations, but two, capitalize on our presence here when it comes to our partners and enablers of the ecosystem, payment ecosystem in the kingdom.
Now, Mastercard is one of those companies that is ubiquitous. Wherever you go in the world, you find Mastercard or one of the other major competitors, right? What is the growth for Mastercard like in a market that you're operating in? Primarily Saudi as well, because that is the big talking point.
So I think we are very lucky in this region with a vision from the leadership, more or less we're talking about Vision 2030, that is focused on not only growth but diversifying the economy. And that puts us and others, those who take this serious, in a very unique position to capitalize on such growth and grow the economy and bring best practices, and beyond that, learning and deploying elsewhere in the world. And I think that's the unique position this part of the world puts for us.
And what can this part of the world teach the rest of the world when it comes to payments, do you think?
I think a lot. If you look at how the ecosystem has evolved over the past years, when it comes to local payments and the local payment infrastructure, it has probably leapfrogged other parts of the world. If you look at e-commerce and if you look at how SMEs have been enabled by digital commerce, that is definitely something that the rest of the world can look at. The other important, I would say, element here is women doing business. Women-led businesses in this part of the world have a lot to teach. Being digital first, the marketing campaigns and the marketing innovation that comes with those businesses, and the way they conduct business is definitely lessons for the other part.
And I believe that those are some of the themes that you touched on during a panel here as well. So can you tell us more?
So it was a very interesting panel because one of the items that was spoken about is that in a few advanced countries outside the region, they are seeing that less graduates are being hired. And less means a few years ago, 5 years ago, it was 10% unemployment for fresh graduates. Today, 5 years later, it is 25%. And this is organizations thinking about, can I deploy AI versus a fresh grad to do the job? And then you plug in the equation of women into this, then the problem becomes much more amplified. So what can organizations do to bridge that gap? Because AI is going to be the reality going forward. And I think the answer to that is a couple of things. One, can we look at what the concept of combined capital? So no longer government-led, no longer private sector-led, no longer development fund-led. Those need to come together with guardrails to enable small businesses to come out, enable training, enable advocacy, especially for women. So that's one. Second, organizations like us have looked at 3 ways to solve for this problem. Can we reach to girls at a young age, so 8 to 16? We've launched the Girls for Tech initiative. We've launched it across 65 countries. About 7 million girls were touched by this initiative. And this is talking to them, inserting the knowledge of AI and payments in the STEM programs at school level. We've done things like internally launched women in leadership to encourage middle management women become senior, entry-level employee women to become middle management through coaching, through mentoring, through training. And then lastly, we've also gone to the public and spoken about or launched a number of initiatives. One of them here in Saudi called Her Voice, which is a podcast that brings successful women and then they talk about how they become successful. And to be honest, you talk about the woman gender gap issue. People need to start, organizations such as Mastercard. We have been looking at skill-based fulfillment of jobs rather than anything else. So I think the more we feed into skills, the better women and men have an opportunity to bridge that gap.
Right, it's a very important initiative.
Absolutely.
And just as a final question, Money 2020, it's a big global brand that's here now.
Yep.
How important is it to see big exhibitions like this in Riyadh?
Very important, I must say. We take this very seriously. We're a strategic partner of Money 2020. It's great to be in this part of this inaugural event. We've got senior leadership speaking at multiple forums or breakout sessions. We've got a great booth down here. We're showcasing some of the global innovations and some of the local innovations, so please pay us a visit and have a look. But yeah, very exciting. It's a very busy place, pleasantly surprised. Obviously this is the inaugural event. There's lots of things going on, lots of decision makers coming in, which was refreshing. So yeah, very excited.
Saud Swar, Country Manager of Mastercard, thank you so much for chatting to Golf Business
today. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.